Right, man. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. It is a big match, of course, tomorrow. West Ham versus Arsenal live on Super Sunday. And, in an FA Cup weekend, West Ham still play, which is a big bonus considering they're out of the competition. Both sides have a lot to play for yet this season. West Ham in a really different season, I suppose, really looking for top four. Arsenal still, I suppose, in the hunt for Europe, but not exactly where they want to be, especially this stage of the season, although they'll feel they have a lot to play for yet this season, including still inclusion in the European Cup, which is a big one for them. But yeah, look, it's a big game really for both sides tomorrow. And Mike, I mean, appreciate you coming on. You're a big Arsenal fan. What's your thoughts and hopes for tomorrow's game from an Arsenal perspective?
Oh yeah, Connor. Mate, I think tomorrow could be a big statement because West Ham this season have been a massive surprise. Like from the end of last season, I thought relegation candidate. So
Yeah.
beating a top 5 team at this point in the season would be a big statement to show how far we've come, and very important before our game against Liverpool next week. So yeah, big game.
Yeah, that's the big thing because I know you've got that Liverpool game after break, and as bad as Liverpool being this season, it's still a really tough game. And I suppose Arsenal's running, they've beaten Spurs, but then they've drew teams like Burnley and stuff, and it'd be more of what if at the end of the season for Arsenal. After their mixed season, they've a lot of chopping and changing in there. They've had Arteta since the start. There was talks over him going and all that, and he seems to have found sort of balance now. And he's got kind of so many options, he just needs to find the right players, which is a big one for Arsenal. And a big thing with them this season, well, they've been so solid defensively, which is a weird one. It's just their attack that has been a bit inconsistent. So where do you think the areas that Arsenal can hurt West Ham tomorrow? Mike, you there, man?
Yeah, Connor, I was gonna say you're talking about Liverpool there, mate. I think Liverpool's gonna be a even bigger game because I think we'll beat Liverpool, so we need to beat West Ham, or we could find ourselves.
The interest, we're having a bit problem with your live there, man. Can you hear us?
Okay.
All right, but basically, I think what position, what's the most dangerous part, I was saying, for Arsenal's team tomorrow against the West Ham defence, who's been really solid, I'd say, I suppose, throughout most part of this season.
Well, mate, we're losing Saka. He's out tomorrow apparently, so that's a big loss. But I'd say on form right now, Lacazette. He's playing very well in the last few games. Willian off the bench is also a big player who can do damage to your defence. But yeah, I'd say Lacazette would be the main worry for your defence.
Yeah, Lacazette's been one of the unsung heroes for Arsenal recently, hasn't he? Coming in for Aubameyang in the North London derby last week, and Lacazette he drops more deep now, and he's a good hold-up player, and adds goals to his game as well. I remember he scored against us in the reverse fixture back in September, and he's definitely going to cause if he does play tomorrow, he always is an underrated player for Arsenal. He offers a lot more than some players would do. He definitely needs to find more goals this game, but it's another one of those players up front for Arsenal that can cause problems that they've got loads of if they can just be more consistent, I was saying. So yeah, he's definitely a big one. Saka, I mean, I think I heard he might be back tomorrow, which is a big boost for Arsenal. He was declared fit, so that'll be a big one. Martinelli, Aubameyang if he does play, and Smith Rowe, Odegaard, they've got a lot of options up there. And what would your I suppose we go into my predicted time at the moment, West Ham, but what would your maybe if we were to go through an Arsenal, XI tomorrow, what would you say is your best one, including after rotation from the Europa League and all that, who stays, who goes? What would you say?
Yeah, mate, I'd say Leno in goal, and then I'd say Bellerin. And centre backs. Say in the mid, holding Odegaard back.
You're lagging, man. I can't hear you. Say that again. I can't hear you there.
Did you hear anything?
No, you have to say that again, man. Sorry.
Well, Leno in goal, Bella in right back, Holding centre back with Murray and Tierney left back, Xhaka and Partey holding with Odegaard, Aubameyang, Smith Rowe and Lacazette up top.
I'll tell you what, that would worry me tomorrow. There's also a few players, I suppose, in the defence. Arsenal have been, getting goals contributed by the season. Is Kieran Tierney. I mean, he's been fit. He's absolutely been brilliant. One of the best left backs in the league this season. The defence partnership, I mean, you could throw in anything there. Really, got Mary just holding partnership that are using this season. And they've all come in well. Gabriel, Luis, two Brazilian, one experienced and one just new. Very good still. Interesting, I suppose, option there. What's his name? Miguel has tomorrow to make. Especially because Antonio, he's a really threatening player and he could cause a lot of problems in whoever you play as a centre half partnership. So, he's going to have to try and trust his centre backs tomorrow once again against the down at Westham attack and choose the right one, I suppose. But in terms of a few key stats, I'm just looking at as well that West Ham only 3 wins in the last 24 games against Arsenal. That's a bad stat in its own, really. 1-8 of the last. They've only won 1-8 out of their games against Arsenal the last 24, which speaks for itself, really. No team has won also more games against West Ham than Arsenal in the league. So that's another really big stat tomorrow. Arsenal, it's a big one. Arsenal, I think, as well have won more away games against West Ham than any other team ever in the league. So it's not really a place for Arsenal to go and worry tomorrow, despite the way things are in the league at the moment. Would you say Arsenal are favourites tomorrow, or would you be more a bit worried on this season's form?
Well, it's interesting, Connor, mate, because I think that I don't think West Ham are particularly good against the big teams, mate. But yeah, I'd say Arsenal are the favourites tomorrow, just because we're a massive club, we're on good form. We haven't lost since I think City, so we've had a good last few weeks, and yeah, I think we're probably the favourites going in.
Yeah, I still think the big team one is the Moyes effect when he sets up teams against the big six, we'll say, or something like that, and he doesn't really go for us. And we can, I think, for Arsenal tomorrow show them too much respect because they're 10th place in the league, I said, for a reason. We have to go out, we have to attack them. Look, we beat Spurs, who are above them. They have a much better team, and we went out and we beat Spurs 3-2-1. And we're at home tomorrow. Sunny London Stadium, good home form. We've won our last 3 in a row there. We've got the players going forward and defensively, so we don't have to worry about that. And it's all about who Moyes sets us up tomorrow. In terms of Arsenal, I don't think because of the Saka vote today, I think he'll be okay. So I'm pretty sure there's no real concerns for injuries with them. For us, I mean, Ogbonna, Yarmolenko are both, are all out, I think, since till after international break, which is a bit of a meh one, really, because good squad depth to have, and Ogbonna's been a key player for us recently. Although every player that's come in, like Diop, I think Fredericks might be back tomorrow, which is big. Everyone like that has come in and they've done something, so that's a real bonus for us this season. We don't have to worry about too many injuries, and when we have, they've come in and done a job, and I think there's a happy vibe coming from the camp at the moment that we haven't seen in a while. Suppose for us trying to catch out tomorrow, I think the counter attacks is key for us. If we play attacking, if we're set up perfectly, I think Lingard can get in behind that defence. If Fornals comes back, he'd be a really good good player for us. Defensive work rates are brilliant, and it's been toss up then maybe Ben Ram or Bowen if we play in the attacking 3 behind Antonio. And I mean, Bowen gives a bit more defensive support. Ben Rama just gives the extra flair, and I just think not all out attack, but give a balance to it. But if we're going to go attacking tomorrow, we've got to play our best attacking players, I think. But yeah, look, it's all about how we're set up tomorrow. We're going to do someone just comments on there. We'll quickly check there. They told me, man, how you doing? Best look for the game tomorrow, though, bro, too. But yeah, we'll do a quick combined XI as well while we're at it. So, I mean, this really is a big one, really. I think we'll go 4-2-3-1, really, because that's what both players use, both teams use, rather. In goals, so Leno and Fabianski, who are we picking?
Connor, mate, you have to say Leno. You have to say Leno, mate.
in age, I mean, and on paper, Leno does look better, doesn't he? Um, but Leno does have the few mistakes in him, and for even not being biased, I think definitely even on this season's and what I've seen Fabianski in a West Ham shirt over Leno in an Arsenal shirt, I actually probably would go Fabianski just because he's less mistakes.
Well, I'm going for Leno, Connor, mate.
All right, you can go Leno, and we'll see how we go at the end. All right, left back, it's Tierney or Creswell. Um, Creswell has the most assists as a defender, which everyone seems to forget. And Gareth Southgate doesn't acknowledge this season, which is I think he should have been in England squad. But um, I think Tierney is still brilliant, and he causes more threats going forward than Creswell. I still think would, but yeah, I think Tierney on paper you have to say that as well. So would you agree, Mike?
Oh yeah, Tierney all day for me, mate. He's brilliant this season. He's a perfect left back, and yeah, definitely goes in my team.
Yeah, definitely. Right back, I'd be interested one. There's of course Kufal, one of our Czech legends in there, and for us, and then for Arsenal, I mean, what we were saying, I mean, Cedric, I suppose, is the most obvious thing to start tomorrow, but even over Bellerin, I think Cedric just walks in. Sorry, Kufal walks over. Would you agree?
Yeah, mate, I'd say, yeah, I'd love Kufal there, but yeah, I'd say Kufal, yeah, over Bellerin or
Yeah,
Cedric any
I
day.
think that could be agreed on. And I mean, the two centre back pairings, I mean, for us, it's Diop and, of course, Dawson, who've been magnificent for most parts of the season. And then for Arsenal, we'll probably go maybe Gabriel and David Luiz because I think that's one of the more consistent partnerships we've seen and probably their best, really. Um, I think there I would easily go with on form really more than anything else. Let me just fix it there. I think Dawson and Gabriel is what I would go for. What would you go for?
Yeah, I think you're dead on there, mate. I think Gabriel and Dawson is, yeah, that's what I'd go for as well, kind of mate. They're the perfect duo.
That's fair enough. In midfield, I mean the two CMs are Shaq and Partey against Suchek and Rice. I just think Suchek and Rice walk in. Honestly, don't see much better around. What would you say, man?
Connor, mate, I'd have to go for Suchek and Partey for me. I think since Partey's come in, he hasn't put a foot wrong. He against the Man United game comes to mind. He was absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna say Suchek and Partey for me.
Yeah, it's up for debate, I suppose. You know, I could respect your opinion, and they're both kind of different styles of players, really. But in left, we'll say left side of the midfield. I mean, you've got a few options. You could kind of put whoever you kind of want there. I mean, for us, it's Fornals or Benrahma. We can choose either one or the other. And you know, for Yi, I suppose, who would you sack? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd say it could be Saka, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang could play on the left. If we're gonna talk about Saka, I think Saka gets in over Benrahma any day. To be honest, mate.
Yeah, I do. I think Saka's a baller, and he's probably one of the best players we're going to have in the attack here, definitely based on this season's form. So yeah, Saka left wing, no complaints. And the right side, who would your? I mean, for us it's Bowen, who hasn't exactly played well since the last 3 or 4 months. But who would you say? But who's the alternative to Bowen really on Arsenal's right side?
Well, it's interesting, Connor, mate, because we could play Smith Rowe out there. We could play Willian out there. Aubameyang could play outright. I'd say, you know what?
You
I'm
got
just
Pepe
gonna
actually, well, don't you? Yeah.
outright. You know what? I actually wouldn't mind Bowen out there. So yeah, I'm gonna give you Bowen, mate. I really like him. He's a fantastic player.
What I'm going to do in that is I would go. I'd put Fornals on the left and put Saka on the right. That's what I
Yeah, I
would
agree.
personally do. Just Fornals because he's done more this season, played more, good defensively, and he's still a really good player for us. So yeah, I'd put him over Benrahma for that case. Cam, it's between Lingard and probably Odegaard. I know Lingard hasn't played much this season either, and Odegaard has done well the last game or two for Arsenal, but from what I've seen so far and his reputation overall, I would actually go Lingard, but I think Odegaard's really good as well. What would you
Yeah,
say, Mike?
I'd say. Yeah, since Lingard has come to West Ham, he's been a revelation. So, I mean, I can't argue with that. I'd say Odegaard has just been a tiny bit less effective than Lingard. So, yeah, Lingard goes in for me.
Yeah, I just think he's done a bit more. And striker, I mean, it's either Aubameyang, Lacazette, or Antonio. And Antonio offers you something different to other strikers, and can be a real threat sometimes. Other than injury prone, he's a really good striker. He'd say. Um, I know Aubameyang is in great form this season. Lacazette's in and out as well, and sometimes injured. But I think Aubameyang just walks in even on form. I think he still is just better than all of them. What would you say, man?
Yeah, I think when you're talking about Aubameyang, you're talking about a player who's been at the top level for the last 3-4 years now. So yeah, I think he just walks in, mate. I don't think any arguments there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So I mean, look, that's there's so many West Ham players walking. There's uh, for you. I mean, you've got for both really, but for you, Tierney, Leno, Gabriel, that's three. Party four for you. Saka five, and Aubameyang six, and then for me four Arsenal players. So yeah, look, it shows there's an even match there out there tomorrow. And say what you think on league positions. All it takes is one bad game for someone and one good game for the other person. They can beat you on the day. It doesn't matter. So it's a really key one. In terms of where the West Ham team is going to, stop tomorrow, I just want Moyes to go for it. I don't want any sitting back. If my hope for the lineup tomorrow would be, the 4-2-3-1, all out, not all out, but, go for it. Fabianski in goals, Creswell left back, Kufal right back, Dawson D up centre backs, Shaka and Rice in the midfield, and then up front, if he's fit for now, is Ben Rama coming along into Cam maybe. Right side is going to be who's was in the right side. We talked about Lingard and striker Antonio, of course, and maybe we might see a surprise on the bench tomorrow. Maybe you might get Yarmolenko back from injury before we thought with Ogbonna or something, which would be nice. And yeah, go from there. I just hope sit up right. Everyone just have a good game. And look, hope for the best for that tomorrow. Really, good chance to capitalise this game in hand on Chelsea. We can go literally 4 place joint with them level, on goal difference. With 9 or 10 games left, so for international break in a high would be huge. It would probably give us the. I mean, it's already in our own hands, but this would really set us a good distance between ultimately, say, top 7 or 8 if we get the victory tomorrow. And that's a key game that we have to watch. We'll be back anyway tomorrow, though, for live watch along. Game was like, 3 o'clock? So we'll be back with 2:30 tomorrow for a pre game build up. And yeah, double header of watch alongs tomorrow. And then that's the pre match review after the game. So hopefully you did enjoy it. Thank you very much, Mike, for coming on, Arsenal fan tomorrow. And yeah, best of luck in the game. Oh yeah, by the way, before we go, what's your score prediction?
Connor, I'm gonna go 2-1. I think it's gonna be a very close game, but I think Arsenal will win 2-1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's dodgy because Arsenal worries me because we don't have a good record against them. But we are at home. We're in good form. We haven't lost 2 games in the bounce, I think, since late September against that 2 defeats Newcastle and Arsenal, and since then we've kind of shown that we've been a better team. But I would go personally tomorrow for either 2 on Arsenal or 1 on draw. I don't think we're going to let them lose it tomorrow. I think we'll be cautious and get a goal. They'll score somehow as well. I think we 1-1. I think Aubameyang will score. No, I don't. I think Martinelli's going to score for Arsenal. Score tomorrow. Ben Rama's going to get his first goal for the club. Mark my words. But that's it going to be anyway, guys, for the stream. Hope you enjoy it. And we'll be back. Take a piece, and one thing I have to say, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Gunners! Come on, you Gunners!